This is Duke University.
Let me highlight two trends I see happening in the social entrepreneurship space. First, I think it's incredibly uplifting and very positive. I'm seeing a rush, if you will, of talent into this space. And I mean more entrepreneurs, more people joining into impact businesses. And that's been very, very positive. People who are mid-career, who are transitioning, as well as people who are relatively early career, who are joining social enterprises right from the beginning. A second trend that I see that's really interesting is how investors are beginning to change and adapt to this marketplace. I think investors are getting more sophisticated in this area. They're getting a little bit more experienced in this area. And they're beginning to be able to evaluate what they feel are investment-worthy businesses more carefully. So I think what you're going to see is fewer investments, but more confident investments, and potentially at larger dollar amounts. But there will be fewer of them. What that means is that for an early stage entrepreneur, they'll have to be a little sharper maybe about what they're presenting and making sure they really are investment ready when they go and actually pitch for the money. One of the most challenging things that Sproxil's faced in scaling is the diversity of countries that we work in. So as we've expanded from one country to the next, initially we had this simplistic thought that it would all be the same. And the reality is it's not. Even neighboring countries have radically different cultures and very different rules and regulations. And that's been a big challenge for us. For a social venture starting to scale, they've got to be ready to scale, and that means many things. It's operational, it's logistics, it's in terms of knowing their financials, obviously having enough capital to be able to do that. Do you have the right people, and do you have sufficient resources in terms of equipment and facilities? It's also making sure that your concept, whatever your business is, product, service, doesn't matter, can it apply to that larger market? Will it apply to that larger market? Just because it's been successful in one place doesn't mean it's going to be successful everywhere. Relationships with investors are very important. They are interpersonal. It's not just business to business, it's person to person as well. Let me give an anecdote, an example, right? So there's one investor that I've known now for several years, and we initially met purely at a business conference, and they were not ready to invest in us. Their criteria and our business were not a fit, not a match. But we've stayed in touch both formally and casually at business conferences where we've seen each other. And now we're getting to a phase where we are ready to meet their criteria and our business is ready to speak with them more formally. And that's great because they actually know more about our business already and they're actually interested in investing with us. So it's opening up a door that may not have been opened otherwise if we hadn't invested ourselves in building that relationship over what has been now a few years.